everybody, and welcome to another video. We start this one off on the not so mad mile anymore, now that it's down to 40 miles an hour. I'll have a bet with you, there'd be more crashes on this now that it's 40 miles an hour than when it was 60, because they're all bunching up on it. Every time I've been on it, everyone is bunching up. Anyway, we're looking at this red Kia just over there on the right hand side. There's a car in front of it that's going to be turning right. Look how late this Kia actually sees this signal and then has to move round to the left to avoid it. And I wonder why that is, because it's not looking further than the end of its bonnet. It's not actually looking further than its dashboard. It's actually looking at its poxy phone again. Now I know this isn't close to being a crash or anything like that, but you can see he's just left it that late. This is about reaction time because of looking at your poxy phone. Leave the thing alone. As we come up here, you'll hear me talk about him anyway. And you can see that, I know it's not a great picture, but you can see his head is directing down below his dashboard. It's obvious what he's doing, but you'll hear me in the car now. Yeah, put the glasses on, mate, and now play with your phone. Yeah. I can see it as clear as daylight in his hand looking down at it. But unfortunately the camera's not picking it up. Oh, I need a head cam on. Yeah, glasses off, phone down. So now, as most of you know, this is 3 lanes that go into 2. The outside lane merges into the middle lane. I don't know what that red car is doing. It should be merging behind that van. It's practically forcing the van to come over into my lane to go down here. That is where all the accidents happen, on this little bit here. Not on the mad mile back there, but there will be crashes back on the mad mile now that it's 40. Trust me. So we're still on the subject of mobile phones. I don't know why so many people don't seem to think it applies to them, the rule. We got this one here. She's got her Stevie Wonder glasses on and she's not afraid to use them. She's holding the phone with one hand, tapping on it with the other, and resting the back of her hands on the steering wheel to steer with. I've got a back of a hand that I'd like to show you, and I've got a rough end of a pineapple that I'd like to shove right up your... You irresponsible, dangerous cow. Okay, moving on, we're going to have a little look at a cyclist coming out from the right hand side here. I'm not so sure he looked to the right hand side at that mini roundabout there at all. I didn't see it. It's not a great picture, but he's turning left here, and for once he does indicate. He puts his little arm out there, but he shouldn't be turning left. As you can see, it's a no left turn and a no entry, and well, he's a cyclist, they do what the bloody hell they want, don't they? Ah, the British workforce. It's time for having a go at the British workforce again. People that know the area around here, we're coming into Sutton. There used to be a massive B&Q up here on the left hand side. It's gone. It's been knocked down and they're probably going to build flats on there or something like that. But the traffic lights here are for people going in and out of B&Q. The B&Q's gone. The hoarding's up there. But we still got to wait at a poxy red light for traffic that's not going to go in or out of there. And as you can see, they've got a little red man there. That's because they got a green light for people to come out and turn right. But you can't. But we've still got to wait at a red light. Oh, I've got a funny feeling I might be hitting the whiskey early tonight. Now in this clip, we're on the A217. Approaching that roundabout where I keep saying that everyone seems to go through red lights on it. It doesn't matter what approach you use on the roundabout, wherever. I've seen them go through red lights on every single set of lights here. This is no exception. The guy in front of us, the white van, he's got plenty of time to stop for this one. Plenty. But doesn't though. I mean, that's clearly a red now. He hasn't gone past the stop line there. I don't know what it is about this roundabout, but every time I'm on there, someone goes for a red light. It's really weird. Now in this clip, we're looking at the guy in front of us, the lorry in front of us. Now, just because you put your indicator on, it doesn't mean that you can go. You know that, don't you? Well, it does if you're that big. Because he just puts his indicator on and just goes. It doesn't matter who's next to him, who's about to overtake him, he just goes. He shouldn't be doing that, forcing that guy out into the next lane. That's not right. That's bully boy tactics there. And he can't stay in this lane anyway. Look, he needs a bit of the other lane. He's getting very close to the car on the left. Yeah, not very good there at all. So now in this clip we're coming into Reigate and we're looking at that red car over to the right hand side. It's facing oncoming traffic. It's parked on the wrong side of the road basically. It's dangerous doing that because you have to pull out blind. If you've got no passenger that can look for you, you're pulling out and you cannot see that car coming until now. Now look what the car has to do to get round it. It comes on my side of the road, so it affects me as well because you're parked on the wrong side of the road. Yes, the car could have stopped and waited, but why the hell should it? If it was the other way round, if you were facing the correct way, would you expect that car to just wait as you pull out? No, you wouldn't. You would be indicating and looking in your mirror for a clear spot to be pulling out on. Why should it change because you're facing oncoming traffic? But then you are special, so everyone had to wait to let you out because you cannot see. So it's just all wrong, isn't it? It's just all wrong to park like that. There should be a proper law about doing that in this country. There is when it's dark. I think it's at 11:30. You're not allowed to park on the opposite side of the road. I'm sure there'd be people in here who know the highway code inside out that could let us know about that. I'm sure it's 11:30 that starts. You're not allowed to park facing oncoming traffic. And obviously, if you don't know, if you're doing that sort of manoeuvre at night, not only are you pulling out on someone, you're actually blinding them with your headlights at the same time. So now we're going to go through these temporary lights up here, and I'm going to pose another little question for you. You'll see them turn amber now, and you can see how far away I am to my stop line there. That would be a really harsh brake, so I obviously going through them. What about the car behind? The special person behind me, this one here. Has she got time to stop? What do you think? Would it have even been a red that she's gone through? As you can see, there's my stop line there. You saw how much time I had. She's not waiting. For me, it would have probably still been an amber, but she had time to stop at that amber, but she didn't. So now in this clip, I'm just sitting here having a cup of coffee, waiting for my next job, when this cyclist goes past me here. He's way over to the right hand side, which he's entitled to do so, but there's a Range Rover coming towards him in a second that he doesn't really want to move out the way for. Now, does he really expect to have the whole road there and let the Range Rover wait? Why not just move over and just be done with it? Why do you have to put your arm out like that's your side of the road that's got the obstruction on? You can move over and help out a bit. Now in this clip, it's time for you to get involved in this one. I've got to say, I've done this deliberately just for this question. Normally, I would just stay in this lane because this is the lane that takes me all the way round to the A24. But I'm going to change lanes here just for this question. As you can see on the ground here, both lanes go to the A24, which is what we want. So I'm doing nothing technically wrong. I'm in the lane for the A24. Now we've been told so many times on other channels to use the whole road. But when does using the whole road become being in the wrong lane and basically just queue jumping? So that's the question that I am asking you today. When would you change lanes? Because I do have to change to the left-hand lane. Otherwise, I will be in the wrong lane and I will be going in a completely different direction to where I want to go. And this is pretty easy for me as well because I do know the road. I do know when you're supposed to get in the correct lane and all of that around here, you know, so it's not unusual road territory for me. My sat nav that is on in my ear is telling me to move over now. And I've got to say, I think that is probably the latest that I should be moving over is there, exactly where I did and exactly where my sat nav is telling me to move over. Now in this little clip, we are obviously looking at road markings as well. Could the road markings be better than what they are? For me, yes, they bloody well can be. Now this lane that I'm in now goes left up here. The one to my right hand side turns right. So you've got to be getting into the correct lane. And you should, in my opinion, already be in the correct lane now. And I will show you why in a little while with another clip when it gets really busy, this road. That's the first left turn only lane marking that we've got, and it doesn't refer to these traffic lights here. It's the next one on is the A24. So that's the first one that we've said that this lane is a left turn only lane. Now that one over there to the right hand side is the first one that says that that is a right turn only lane. So should the markings be a little bit further back to give people that don't know the area a little bit more of a heads up as to what's going to happen further down the road? For me, obviously, yes. Now the car in the middle lane is technically what we call in the trade a piss taker, because he knows where he's going. He's made the private hire go around him to stay in his correct lane. That there is not using the whole road correctly. That is just an out and out queue jumping piss taker. And well, you get to see what sort of driver he is here. He's driving into oncoming traffic across a solid line. The solid line is for the opposite direction, mind you, and he doesn't give the cyclist enough room there. So you can, you don't have to be mastermind to realise what sort of driver that is. So I will show you, well, a little bit of that again from the rear camera, just so you can see, could that car have got over earlier? For me, again, yes, he definitely could have. He's over there to our left hand side as we're looking at it. Now the car behind me has left a little bit of a gap and it's growing. He could easily get in there, couldn't he, really? When we go to the front camera, there is no gap. So that's a bigger gap as he's got. You see the car that's moved over into the lane behind the car behind me. But no, this car has to go to the very end where there is no gap now. And obviously anyone behind this idiot now that wants the middle lane has to change lanes, like the private hire does here, has to change lanes because he's using the road incorrectly. That is not how you use the whole of the road. And yeah, I know you're using your hazards to say thank you, but you can stick that thank you right up your... So this is me approaching the same road from a different angle. Now this is why I said that you should be over way before where I literally turned, because look at the road now. When it gets to a busy part of the day, this is what always happens. And if you're going down here thinking you're going to get into the left hand lane, you're going to be causing havoc for anybody that wants to go straight on and then turn right, aren't you? So yeah, using the whole road only works on certain roads for me. And it does help if you've got local knowledge, which I have, and it does help if the road markings are really good, which they are definitely not. I mean, look at that right turn arrow there. Right turn only lane there should have a straight on there as well, because look, there's a lane that goes straight on from there. Why isn't there one? And obviously we've got a special that goes right to the front again. So yeah, you can see what I'm trying to say here, that using the whole road only works with certain roads. Anyway, it was a debate sort of thing that I've brought up here, so let us know your feelings on that. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I talking nonsense, or am I talking sense for a change? Now in this clip we've got this cyclist in front of us, but because I look further than the end of my bonnet, I can see up there in the distance there's roadworks. And the lights are on red, so there is absolutely no point in me overtaking this cyclist to wait at a red light up here and let the cyclist overtake me again, or undertake me, whatever way he wants to do it. There's no point, so I'm just going to wait here and be behind him. But it is a red light, and it is a red light for him as well. But as we know, they don't wait for red lights. And I know that people will be saying, I'm a cyclist, I stop at red lights, and it's stereotyping and all that sort of stuff. But I've got to say, most of these guys do not stop at red lights now. And yes, stereotyping, you get tarred with the same brush and all that. I know that, yeah. I'm a private hire driver. I get tarred with the same brush as these idiots that are on the road that call themselves professional drivers. So I do know what you feel like when I say things like that. Now in this clip we are looking over to the right hand side for a food delivery rider, just pulls out, then stops. Now look at that car, he brakes really hard there. Now this guy just stops because I think there's something troubling him on his bike. Look, he's stopped, he's put the stand down and he's going to get off his bike and have a look at his bike in the middle of the road with all them cars waiting there. I mean, these people walk among us. I mean, what sort of person would think it's okay to just stop in the middle of the road to check your bike out? Maybe I was right, it is a full delivery rider. Now for the final clip of this episode, we are in Chelsea. Yes, we came down to Chelsea for the weekend, and this will be your next live drive with us driving all the way down here and another one going all the way back. It took a couple of hours to get here and a couple of hours back as well, so it's going to be a long old live drive, but not sure when we're going to be doing that, because it takes two of us to do it now because of the system we got now. Sarah reads all the questions and I answer and she answers and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's your next live drive coming up. But first of all, we've got this clown coming up with the longest exhaust pipe I've ever seen on a motorbike.
It's the final brain cell.
Anyway guys, that's it for today. Thanks a lot for watching and I will catch you on the next one. Bye for now.